The incels, they came by, they stopped by. Of course, naturally, if you want to be able to have sex, and as a grown man, we're talking about grown men, but it's not happening, and somebody comes to tell you that it's your fault, it's only natural that you're defensive. That's not an indictment either. Okay, it's only natural that you're defensive. Okay, somebody say, hey, this thing is happening to you, you don't want it to happen to you, and somebody says it's your fault. Of course you will want to slap the nonsense out of that person's face, right? It makes sense. It makes sense to me. Okay, however, let's really break it down. Let's break it down, right? Here's what he had to say. He said, let me show you that part. He said, game is a lie, it's a joke. Women decide in 3 seconds if you're attractive just by looking at you. Looks equals to personality to women. What is wrong with this statement? What would you say is wrong with this statement? Right? What would you say is wrong with this statement, ladies and gentlemen? Right? Game is a lie, it's a joke. Okay? A lie means is false, right? A joke means anybody that's talking about game is deceiving themselves, right? Not him, clearly, not John. Women decide in 3 seconds. Ladies, you're in the chat. Do you decide in 3 seconds if you're attractive? I know physical attraction can be an instant. I get that part, right? I completely get that part. But what else is going on with this statement? Women decide in 3 seconds. I would say women know if they're attracted to you in less than 3 seconds, right? If you are attractive just by looking at you, okay, so that's just attraction, right? That's just attraction. What else is going on with this statement here? He goes on to say, just by looking at you, looks equals to personality. Is looks the same thing as personality to women? Now, let's keep in mind that a person who is not an incel will not leave this kind of comment. They just won't, because they can't relate. Okay. So, I can safely say that John Milios, or Milos, or whatever this is, Milios, I can safely say he's an incel. And I want to be very, very nice about this. Okay? Because the truth is that there are many, many men who are in this position. Young men especially. Okay? And they're just looking for answers. Okay? Ladies, this could be your son at the age of 18, 19, 20, 23. He's an incel. He can't figure out how to get women to get in bed with him. And it's not, I'm not talking about celibacy as your faith, as your value from a standpoint of faith. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this is not something you decide. It's just not happening, right? Game is a lie. So because of that, he goes straight to shoot game down, right? The idea of game, right? I also use a word called, lame. Lame is usually, I don't mean lame in the extreme of it. I just mean lack of game, okay? I just mean lack of skills, okay? Or the fact that you don't want to acknowledge that there are skills involved, right? Or when you just give up, that there's no skills, forget that thing, such as skills, there's no such thing as game. That's essentially what you're saying, that the skills is not required. So when we say the word game, I also get it. People think we mean that you're playing around with people's heart, right? They think we mean that that's what it meant when he said joke, right? That means you're like, this is supposed to be a joke. This is my life. It's been 9 months and I can't knock one off. Nobody wants to sleep with me, right? So it's not a joke to them. So in response to that, hold on one second. All right. So, Bhagavad says 3 seconds care. I said, make I ask una, because you ladies might know better than I do in this situation, right? She says no. Not at all. Looks do not equal personality. So that's the question I'm asking for you ladies. When you see a person that's attractive to you, do you just assume? Now, I don't assume, me personally, I don't assume that women knows the right answers to what they feel either, okay? But let's just start with that. Do you assume that since this person is a good-looking person, that's the first question. Do you assume since they're a good-looking person, they must have good personality? That's the first question. Second question is that, have you been in a situation where somebody really, really is a good-looking person, but the moment they open their mouth and start to talk, right? You're like, where's the personality? Have you met any man before that's extremely good looking, but it's like, okay, awkward, right? There's a movie. It's called Hey You. My wife was watching it yesterday. I joined her. I watched the first, as usual. I watched as soon as she started before I got there. As soon as she's maybe about 15 minutes into it, I joined. I sat down, and then I watched maybe about 30 minutes, and then I slept for another almost to the end, and I watched the end. It's about a man who is a tech guy, good looking guy, acted by Dakore's brother. What's his name? Egbuson. Team, right? Something like that. Team something. Right? Fine actor. He's a really, really good actor, right? And he was a tech guy, but he spent a lot of his time jerking off to OnlyFans girls on the internet. Okay, there's a lot of men like that, right? And then it so happened that the chick that he was spending a lot of time with, Timini Egbuson, thank you. The chick that he spends a lot of time with on the internet happened to be his neighbor, but he didn't know how to talk. There's a lot of men like that. Okay, if you're struggling with this kind of stuff, there's a link that's scrolling on the screen right now. That link will show up in a second if you're looking. It's called I think it's Game 100 for Men. You want to go to game100formen.com. You want to go watch all 100 videos. Cause the skill sets involved. I promise you. Okay, don't give up so soon. This is basically you giving up, that there's no game. Saying there's no game is that there's no skill. When we say game, we don't mean that it's a joke. We don't mean that you're playing with people's heart. We're saying you understand that people, that attraction is a thing. Yeah, we're saying that you understand that personality is even more of a thing beyond how attracted you are to a person or vice versa, right? That's basically what we're saying. Okay, so that's why I wanted to ask you. So D-Love says, I would consider myself, okay, looks do not equal personality. In fact, I would consider myself sapiosexual. A lot of ladies are identifying as sapiosexual these days, meaning they kind of need to hear you talk, especially a woman of a certain age. Like looks is like this. They've been there, done that. They've seen that, right? Especially a woman that attracts good-looking guys all the time. It's, I am more attracted to your brain, intelligence, personality than I am your looks. So she just added 3 onto that, right? 2. She said brain, brain and intelligence. Let's just add that as one thing, right? But she added personality, meaning you could be intelligent, you could know all the books in the world, but if it's like bleh, like your face is blank and the way you move and you're making people feel, if people feel like weird around you or you come off as weird, right? It's not your fault, but it's a thing. And there's a way you move that makes you come off as weird, right? You come off as weird. There's another word I'm looking for. You come off as creepy. It's almost like there's something about you that's kind of like makes them feel a cringe, right? It's not your fault. Don't make it about fault. You don't know what you don't know. Sometimes some people are not born with it. Some people need to learn. Right? And it's part of self-awareness to know that, hey, maybe if a few people have told you that cringe, right? Or a few people literally avoid you, it might be something, right? That you need to pay attention. It's not beneficial for you to write it off and say, hey, game is a lie. It's a joke. Don't do that to yourself. Because this is your shadow again. Everywhere you go, it follows you. In business, in relationships, in your attempt to talk to a lady, because obviously you want to talk to women. People that don't want to talk to women, or that don't want anything to do with women, or the mid-gal, whatever you want to call it, they're not interested in this topic. But if you're interested in this topic, it's because you're never going to let go of this issue. It's a real thing. It's to keep hunting you down. Okay? So women decide in 3 seconds. No, it's not a decision. Attraction, that decision aspect of attraction is not 3 seconds. Okay, that takes engaging you and getting to know you. And yes, they might decide they don't want to fuck with you. Okay, and a lot of time that women, anybody can testify here. Women, okay, you can testify. Tell me if this is true or wrong or right. Right. You've grown to be attracted to people before, after a few days, after you actually ghosted them a little bit, you actually grew to like them. Is that a thing? Does that exist? Right? Because this gentleman is saying it doesn't. Tell me, have you ever been in that situation where you never really looked at him like that, but it started to grow on you? Is that a thing? Right? I mean, like lasting long after 3 seconds. Right? So if you're attractive just by looking at you, they find you attractive just by looking at you, that's false. That's somebody who have told themselves they're ugly. That's somebody who have told themselves they're short, too fat, and ugly, and they can never get a woman. Right? There's too many examples. Too many. Okay? I know they're like percentages. Go look at the percent. No, we're not talking about percentage. Okay? There's something about you that some chick is going to like. But how are you going to find such chick if you're already shutting down so early? Oh, but I've tried so much. Okay, maybe it's because your focus is too much on women. What else do you have going on? What about purpose? What about your life mission as a person? What about that part, right? Let me pull this up right now. I'm going to start showing this more and more, right? GPS, God, gratitude. If you're not a religious person, purpose, self. What is your personal purpose, right? If you're disengaged from that, it's no wonder, okay? Because sometimes what the woman find attractive in you is the fact that you don't pay woman mind like that. You don't pay attention to women like that. A lot of women, like majority of women, are more attracted to people that don't pay them any mind. You never heard that before? Oh, now you know, okay? So if you have all of this energy, right, for saying the game is a lie, yeah, it tells me that you've probably tried to work on it, but it's not happening fast enough. What about the other P? Patience. What about understanding it's a process? What about that patience for yourself? It's not a patience with her. You don't owe her anything. Patience for yourself, understanding that you're just a human being. You're trying to figure out things just like you're trying to figure out that part of being an incel by yourself. There are other aspects of life I'm trying to figure out. No one's life is perfect like that, right? So imagine some other. I'm trying to get this platform to 100,000 subscribers right now. Like now, I have to figure that out. Imagine if I shut down and I said, there's no skills in this. There's no game. There's nothing else I need to learn. Just imagine that, right? Basically, I will attract what I fear the most, which is the idea that it can never happen for me. But I know better because we got to 1,500 subscribers, not by mistake, right? We also know that every level we get to, there's a new set of skill set, new problems are created, right? That's just life. So imagine I get there and I feel like it's too stagnant for too long, and I go, yeah, game is a lie. Oh yeah, content creation is bullshit, right? I'll basically be shooting myself on the legs. It's the same thing when it comes to how you relate with women. There are skill sets. I'm talking women, not just, oh, but it's different, you've been married. No, it's the same thing for the rest of your life. How you relate with the woman you're trying to date is how you're going to, it's the same skill that you need to relate with her when you're in a relationship. When you do get married, you're going to need that same game more, right? The longer you spend in it, yes, at some point it becomes second nature, but it's because you worked. It's because it became second nature. It's because you've sown the seed, you've done the work. Okay? So, looks is not personality. And there's a lot of, why do you think there's a lot of good looking men like Austin Oleman complaining about all of American women? Why do you think that? It's because they lack game. It's very simple. They are lame. They lack game. There are skill sets. They give up too soon. Okay, what about the 60-year-old man who said they're all the same? He never paid attention. He married somebody by mistake for 22 years. Okay, and then he still collected woto. And then he's still blaming, guess what? Everything else but self. And actually, it doesn't have to be about blame. It doesn't have to be about faults. It doesn't have to be about shaming anyone. It could be like, hey, maybe somebody knows something I don't. Maybe. I'm going to keep an open mind and not make a stupid conclusion. Because you know what? People that are lame do? They make premature conclusions and they tend to assume a lot. Okay? All right, so shout out to D. Good to see you, D. Greetings, beautiful people. Greetings to you as well. Intelligence to me is a perfect balance of IQ, EQ, and SQ. I agree. Right now, it has to be that. What's SQ? I beg, help me. You know, I don't know everything. Social quotient, right? I'm guessing, right? But tell me, I've never seen it being used like that before. That's a fact. Even if it wasn't like that before, it needs to be all of the above, right? Because people are wiser, people have options, and you can't get away with just, I'm a smart guy, I know how to read all the books. You can't get away with that much longer. Okay? Because it will reflect in personality. Okay? Tell me you've never met somebody before that are extremely smart, but then they also give you that cringe that cringe vibe, right? Even as a man, you meet women like that. They're extremely smart. They know books, everything. They're like, damn. And she's beautiful as well, but there's something that's not connecting. Something's throwing you off. Right? Lady Navor says, I'm a teacher. I know, Lady Navor. I know. I've been told I'm going to have to accept it. She says, did you hit that like button? That's okay. You still can please do, because it matters, and help this platform grow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hit that like button right now. Sharing the videos helps. Subscribing helps. Comment in the comment after the live. Yes, not just the replay gang. After the live, please do comment and let me know. Feedbacks is good for me, but it's also good for the algorithms. Thank you so much for doing that. All right. Kindness is a great virtue. Yes. But let me tell you something, Isabel. A lot of these guys are very kind. Extremely. In fact, one of the resentments is coming from the place of they've tried to do the kind thing. Please, one day we will do it further. We will break down the Mr. Nice Guy even further. It's true. You ladies don't want Mr. Nice Guy. I'm sorry. But I will break it down as usual. On that day, it will be all we'll talk about. And I will give real life examples unlike everybody else. Real life examples of how this play out. Of course, everyone wants to deal with nice people, right? Of course, right? But people that attach expectations to being nice is manipulative behavior, and that's not what you want. And you tend to be able to smell it from far away. Sometimes it comes off as cringe, okay? And they're trying their best. They want to be nice to you. They want to take care of you. They tell you all the good things that they thought you wanted to hear. Things like, I'm a God-fearing man. You know, I'm a God-fearing man. In fact, when I become 60 years old, I will be exactly like Baba Adeboye. And at the back of your mind, not something you decide, you're like, Baba Adeboye, what about the hush puppy part of it? Can you add a little ginger to it, like a little swag? Right? And they're like, what? That's not what you said. Like, no, I never said it. I want a God-fearing man, a guy who will be nice and kind, and you know, and they're confused. That's where a lot of this stuff. So when I say game, they're like, oh yeah, you just want to pander to women. That doesn't work. They think it means they must sound like what you want to hear. You guys who testify to here, I tell you all the time here, you will hurt yourself. Ladies, you will hurt yourself with certain behavior. I tell you that here all the time. But I break it down. I give you reasons, I give you the upside and the downsides, right? But again, it's lack of patience. It's lack of respect for process, okay? And it's usually a guy who lacks purpose. All of his attention is on women. What can make a woman want to sleep with me? And effectively, they kill it even more. So by the time they have all this resentment, they get into a place and say, it's just because I'm short, fat, and ugly. And those that say they're not short, fat, and ugly, like the Austin Holy Man, yeah, I'm kind of roasting him, I'm sorry, right? Yeah, he will be like, yeah, these women don't care. It's just the same because everybody has told him he looks good and he's wondering, like, how come they don't want to sleep with me? How come they want to play all this text game? How can a woman play text game if you don't sit down and be texting with her? The only reason a woman will play text game with you is because you sat down there, you have no jobs, and you're texting women. That's the only way to discover that process. Oh, but wait, I text her, she didn't answer me, so I'm just going to conclude that she's playing games. No, she's not playing games. She doesn't want to talk to you. You have options, but you don't realize that. Again, it's so much to it, right? Real life example. So it's not, if you're a person you consider yourself ugly, first of all, you need to work on that, okay? But I'm just being honest. I can see myself in the mirror. No, you're not. There's something wrong, right? You're not supposed to admit that you're ugly. I don't care how ugly you are, okay? You're not supposed to. There's some kind of self-hate happening there, right? It's not good. There's something about you that's extremely great, that's extremely valuable for this society, that you're supposed to zone in and should basically diminish any form of weakness that you come with as a human being. But you're disengaged from that. Instead, you're zoned in on how women feel. As a matter of fact, you're the ultimate simp. Okay? Because all you can see is tangible stuff. Like, it should be that simple. Looks equals to personality. See, just think about how simple that is. That's false. Right? That's a simple-minded person. Because I did this, no. Okay? There is a reason. It's deeper than probably what you can comprehend. But that pain that you're speaking from, we can use it. We can use it to help you get out on the other side. It's a good chance you're focused on the wrong direction. Bagawa said, I don't like womanizers. Yeah, womanizer is not the same thing as being it's not the polar opposite of kindness. Okay, womanizer is a womanizer. That's a person that has no self-respect. The obvious womanizer is not cheap, by the way. That costs so much resources. Yeah, it's not wise to be a womanizer, because not especially in this society today. Oh, some people just got game. They're sleeping with everybody. They're sleeping with someone though. It's a woman that they're sleeping with. So that's a whole different topic altogether. But being a womanizer is not polar opposite of being nice. Being nice is just, in that context, it's just bad behavior. If somebody doesn't exist without the expectation that because I am nice, women should just sleep with me. It's just a terrible expectation. It doesn't work like that. Okay, it just doesn't work like that. There's a way you show off that makes people feel comfortable and make them feel safe and secure, make a woman feel safe and secure around you. So even if you're a perfect human being with all the values in the world, you know how to read and you do all this stuff, and they don't feel safe around you, their feelings is all that matters in this context, right? Then, even if that means you are being nice and somehow she's starting to question, why are you being nice? Why don't you have your own core? Why don't you have your own backbone? Why does it seem like you're just a doormat? Why is it that I can call you randomly in the middle of the night, come and drive me somewhere, and then you show up and every single day she's not going to respect you, because subconsciously she's going to start asking questions like, subconsciously, okay? But I thought if I was nice, she would just want to sleep with me. No. I'm sorry. That's not how it works. It just doesn't work. It doesn't make people feel safe. People need to kind of like feel like they can trust you. And if you're just giving without giving to self, as in, how do you give to self? Time is not readily available like that. You have to create time, right? Then they can say, that's value. It's somebody valuable, then suddenly they want more of you, right? Demand, supply, right? So these things are not exactly deliberate, but the idea that you can think about it at a deliberate dimension is what we call game. You're able to say, she didn't pick up the phone. She doesn't want to talk to me. Let me keep it moving. I really like her. I'll check back in 1 week. Because you have your own core. You know what you like, but you know how to give a little space, right? That's game. You can't tell me that's not a real thing. That's just stupid if you're just going to conclude a game is not a real thing. Okay, not stupid, but ignorant. Okay. I want to be nice. I want to be nice. Yes, social quotient. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, you need social intelligence, emotional intelligence, and you need intellectual intelligence today in order to consider yourself intelligence. If you're discounting any of those two other things, aka game, bro, you're going to suffer. Miss Coley, good to see you. I want Desmond and Co. particularly. Okay, they think just because they're good, the whole world must be good to them. There's no stories in the Bible that tells you that's how it works. Even in the Bible, okay. The men after God's heart, go look at them. They're not perfect human beings. Okay, that doesn't mean you should be bad. That's not what I'm saying. Because if you think that means you should be bad, that's the problem. You think too simple. There's more to life than what you can see. Okay. All right. Because personally, I think that's how they are outside too. Nice to everybody. No. It's because they want some pussy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bagabat. Okay. It's because there's they want something. Okay. If they're like that, naturally you will see it with other people. They don't have time for you like that either. They won't drop everybody just come and serve you. They tend to do things like that. Why? Because they're focused on. Remember, they're trying to get something and they're not getting it, and they think they have to be like that. Some of them are not deliberate too. Some of them are just overly. That's just. I want to say that's who they are, to an extent. Okay, it's not like they want to hurt you or they want to be manipulative, but that's effectively still. There's a lot of people that are manipulative. They don't realize they are being manipulative. Let me say it like that. Okay. A lot of people, they're being manipulative, but it's a subconscious thing too. It's because they've bought into the belief system that if they do this, it will become this. And the reality is that they have to be valuable to society for people to value them. That's the bottom line. You have to be valuable to society, and a lot of that is emotionally feeling. Just because you can give people money doesn't mean you're valuable to them. That's another part, right? So again, let's define value carefully. Value is in the eyes of the beholder. What's valuable to this person is not necessarily value to that person. But across the board, there are so many things in common. That's why there's game. That means there's some things that you can pay attention to, and then if you just know it as part of awareness, you will increase your chances of success, right? Oh yeah, but I walk upside down. They just won't like a guy who walk upside down. Please show me that first. There's a good chance that you don't walk upside down to come and leave this comment. Okay, there's a good chance that you're a normal guy. Just a little facelift here and there in every aspect of life can make all the difference. But how are you going to engage that when you concluded that no, it's just looks that women care about, right? Some people will say men care only about looks too. That's not true. There's a lot of men that are sapiosexual. In fact, there are more of them more than ever before. So let's be guided. See, and cannot stand group to defend me if need arises since they are nice. I missed that. Yeah. So you should be nice. It's just you should be. That's bare minimum. The point is that don't attach any expectations to you. Be nice, bro. Patrick, good to see you. I see you, sir. Make sure to leave comment on today's live. Thank you, Lady Navora. Please listen to Lady Navora. Shout out to you, brother Patrick. All right. So that's that right there. Game is not a lie. For as long as skill set is not a lie, you need skill sets literally in every aspect of life. Some things comes off as natural to you, to some people, right? But to some other people, they need a little help. All of us need help in one thing or the other. All of us. There's something in this life that you need help in, right? But why is all these coaches all over the place? They are coaching people just to make money. The fact that you're asking that question really, really, really is the telltale sign that you need help, because there's coach literally for everything, and it's always been that way. Okay, so and the whole YouTube platform is literally a whole coaching platform. That's all it is. It's people sharing information. Some people change their life just by watching one free video, and some people want to save time by paying a little extra money. They want to get to the point. It is what it is. That's because there's skill sets to learn.